defective goods is a sign of lack of export readiness, and it involves the shipment of substandard goods. This is a big challenge. Government talk about this a lot, only that the way the government is going about fixing it, it's not really going to fix it. And that's why we have committee upon committee upon committee. Now, another step government needs to take, which is being taken now, which was not taken before, which I agree with, and I think we help to reduce it, but it will not solve it completely, is ensuring that product living in Nigeria have the right certification. Before now, even if you don't have certification, it will still go. They will allow it. But now they are insisting those certifications must be done. The inspection agent will ensure those certifications are available before they clear your good for export. But we are still not attacking the root, getting the business ready. What led to this in the first place? How can we prevent it? The defectiveness in goods could happen to manufacture goods, but it's mostly for hard and soft commodity. Hard and soft commodity, hard commodity, solid minerals, soft commodity, agricultural commodities. For solid minerals, defectiveness can be due to presence of too much sand, stone, packed at the mine with the mineral being exported. For agricultural produce, defectiveness can be due to lack of adherence to good agricultural practice, high level of pesticide residue, poor post-harvest handling, high level of moisture leading to deterioration during storage or in transit, and either wrong or inadequate packaging material. For manufactured goods, defectiveness can be due to lack of adherence to good manufacturing standards. Take example of manufactured goods that is not subject to hazard analysis and critical control point. A business that consequently have defectiveness in goods being exported is not ready to go global. Debt. This involves debt of knowledge, shortage of knowledge of export business management. You know, it's amazing. Someone is let's say is a lawyer. He wants to come into export. To be a lawyer, he went to primary school, he went to secondary school, he went to university, he went to law school before he was called to bar, before he started practicing. And he thinks to do international trade, he can just buy and ship. You were not a lawyer by default. It wasn't by accident. You learn. You learn. And this also happens in relationship and marriages. You can't be a good husband by default. You can't be a good wife by default. You can't be a good parent by default. You are not born with it. If you don't learn to be a good husband, you have issue with your wife. If you don't learn to be a good wife, you have issue with your husband. If you don't learn to be a good parent, you will have issue with your children. We are learning machine as human. Any venture you get into, you need to learn. And unfortunately, you either learn through education or through experience. You either learn through education or through experience. Unfortunately, many are learning through experience. Many are learning through experience. You can't be good in anything by default. You must learn it. If you don't, you will learn it. You will still pay that fee, only that you pay the fee in losses. You pay the fee in losses. For relationship, married people eventually get breakup. Why? He doesn't even understand the husband. He doesn't even understand the wife. He doesn't even understand the younger generation children. You can't be by default. You must learn it. If I want to export yam, I need to know what temperature must the yam be in the container. For short journey, for long journey. How should I prepare it? What are the specifications of the yam? I want to export plantain chips. You know, I see people doing plantain chips and they put it in a transparent nylon. And they are wondering why it doesn't last more than a week or two. How can you put it in a transparent nylon? That's a sign you don't even understand the product. That you put it in a nylon that sun rays can get across to it easily. The idea is this. We are only better to the level of our learning. Someone said, all of us perform to install capacity. All of us, we perform to install capacity. What you don't know, you don't know. You know it, you do it. When you know better, you do better. But unfortunately, many don't want to invest. You know, people will come here and tell you, I want to export. And you will say, I said, have you learned about export? No, I've not. But I said, I heard you can assist me. Now look at this. He's going to invest 10 million to do export to the US. And I'm talking about a live case that happened. But he's not ready to spend even 500K to learn about export. You know why? He's not seeing the learning as an investment. He's seeing it as a cost. But this person is a lawyer, he's an engineer, and he spent years in school learning to attain that position. So we must invest in learning. So if you do the extraordinary assessment, you see area you're lagging, don't even try to, just fix it. It will cost you time, energy, money, whatever it is. Go and learn about that area. Ensure you master it. Get material. There's a lot of material available online. Some you pay for, some are free. Learn it. Immediately you learn it, I can assure you, you will begin to see light in that area and you know exactly what to do in order to be able to do it the right way. Someone said export capital is a patient investment. That's very correct. Very, very correct. That's why when people come to me, I said, don't, the money for your rent, the money for your children's school fees, don't use it to export. Use your spare money if you are coming in newly. Debt involves shortage of knowledge of export business management, including order handling, knowledge of handling orders, knowledge of document processing, knowledge of logistics management, supply chain management, relationship management, international marketing, international commercial term incoterms, costing and pricing, handling trade finance instrument letter of credit, mitigating payment issues, understanding cultural intelligence. Just to mention a few. So a business that lacks export business management skills is not ready to go global. As a matter of fact, lack of export readiness in a business is evidence of the level of depth of knowledge in that business. The higher the level of ignorance in export business management skill, the higher the tendency for discrepancies, the higher the tendency for delays, the higher the tendency for defectiveness, the higher the tendency for demurrage, the higher the tendency for losses, and the higher the tendency to drop out of the business. Debt, losses. Debt is said to occur when a business incurs loss or losses at the end of a transaction because the amount spent to conclude the transaction is more than the amount of proceeds received. A business that constantly, not occasionally, something happened that you could have avoided, but regularly incur debt in export transaction is not ready to go global. Debt often occurs as a result of the extra and unnecessary cost incurred in the export transaction as a result of discrepancies in the documentation presented. Delay at different critical points in the export process. Demurrage that result. So, number one, extra cost because of delay at different points, demurrage as a result of discrepancies, defectiveness in the quality of goods that make the buyer to pay less, and in some cases, probably not paying at all. Debt is one of the major issues that leads to dropout in export business, where the losses incur erode the capital and consequently put the concerned business out of business altogether. Dropout, that's the biggest challenge now. Because at the end of the day, the business drop out. Dropping out in the terms is the term used to describe the business that started exporting but could not continue after a few shipments because of all the signs we have talked about. It couldn't continue after a few shipments because of all the signs, lack of readiness above. The dropout phenomenon clearly explains the high mortality rate of businesses that venture into exportation. There are so many businesses that have dropped out of exportation in different parts of the world. And some of the reasons include the huge loss they incur on their first shipment due to inadequate costing and pricing, inadequate knowledge of costing and pricing, due to challenges encountered in logistics of delivery of the product to destination, due to tariff and non-tariff barriers, due to payment default by the buyer, due to rejection of goods shipped because of low quality, or very long cash conversion cycle that make the cost of funds erode the profit, and unfavorable exchange control regulation and utilization of export proceeds. All this affect a business, make them to have losses, and then they drop out and drop out.